He that the Son set free is free indeed. Freedom, saith the Lord. Freedom, singing about freedom. Oh, freedom, saith the Lord. Give me your freedom. I'm singing my freedom. Oh, freedom, saith the Lord. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. He had a manger for freedom.
Tears in our eyes, we join together to sing it, but we still decided to sing it. We shall overcome. No, before this victory is won, some will have to get thrown in jail some more, but we shall overcome. Don't worry about us. Before the victory is won, some of us will lose jobs, but we shall overcome. Before the victory is won, even some will have to face physical death. Physical death is the price that some must pay to free their children from a permanent psychological death. Then nothing shall be more redemptive. We shall overcome. Before the victory is won, some will be misunderstood and called bad names and dismissed as rabble-rousers and agitators. But we shall overcome. And I'll tell you why. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever. We shall overcome because William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed to earth will rise again. We shall overcome because James Russell Lowell is right. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. We shall overcome because the Bible is right. You shall reap what you sow. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. With this faith, we will go out and adjourn the councils of despair, bring new light into the dark chambers of pessimism. We will be able to rise from the fatigue of despair to the buoyancy of hope. And this will be a great America. We will be the participants in making it so. So as I leave you this evening, I say, drop together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.
What powerful words coming from Dr. King. We shall overcome. How fitting and proper as his birthday is approaching us very, very soon. Thank you for joining us today. The Grant Brothers Bluff City Report is powered by the Greater Memphis Democratic Club. My name is Greg Grant, and I'd like to introduce to you the co-host, Alonzo Grant. Alonzo?
How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you
Welcome
once
to
again.
this stage again.
Absolutely. How about them Cowboys?
How about them? How about them? We certainly want to thank the Tamara Production Television Network, who makes all of this possible. It gives us an opportunity to reach thousands of people on a weekly basis. She's doing an outstanding job in the city of Memphis, and her network is taking off like a rocket. And we're awfully happy and proud to be a part of her television network. Alonzo, what's going on?
Well, as I stated on the entrance of the show, how about them Cowboys?
How about them? How about them?
Well, as we speak, the Cowboys would have probably beat Green Bay by now.
Yeah.
Come Sunday.
Yeah.
And after Green Bay, it's on to the Super Bowl.
Oh my God. Isn't that amazing?
Well, we got maybe a couple of games after Green Bay prior to the Super Bowl. But I'm just saying we're going to win them all anyway. So
Okay.
It doesn't matter who we play.
That sounds good. You know, in our last segment, we talked a lot about the statements that Dr. Harrington made at the breakfast about a week or so ago about getting 10,000 men together and to become mentors. And on the front copy of the Tri-State paper this week, it asked that question, basically, if Dr. Harrington is serious. In other words, where is the follow-up to the statement that's being made? And on last week, we suggested a start would be at the Black History program that we have coming up in February. That is February the 19th at 3 o'clock at the Faith Temple Church Ministries. That's at the corner of Elvis Presley and Holmes Road. We'd like to invite all of you to come out and be a part of these ceremonies. And more specifically, we like black men to come out and stand up. And we're going to let that be the beginning of what we feel will be a movement.
Correct.
You know, it was pretty interesting in our last discussion. We talked about Dr. Harrington asking for 10,000 men, but you had a very interesting scenario, not maybe 10,000, but a manageable number of men that we could possibly use to help fight the problems that we have in the city.
Correct. And my take on it is, if you're really serious, then let's do something serious. I mean, to ask for 10,000 men, to me, in my considered opinion, is not really a serious situation. So why not ask for 200 men? And we can manage 200 men. 200 men would suffice to start this program across Memphis. I mean, but we got to be serious about it and arm them with the information that they truly need. And I'm not attempting to throw Dr. Harrington under the bus, but we shouldn't, the Monday after he makes the statement, as you stated in the Tri-State Defender, we shouldn't be asking the question whether or not he's serious. I mean, we should be asking the question where we're going to meet. And that would determine whether or not that particular person is serious or not. So I think we're on the right track, and throwing the Black History program out there, and that's going to be the meeting point. And when these men come to the history program, it's going to be a twofold situation. We'll do the history program, but at the balance of the program, we'll have more instructions where we want our men to go and to meet again. What do you think?
And developing the agenda. In other words, if it's anybody who'd like to be a part of this movement, then that would be a great starting point. You got to have a starting point, and you got to have a core of working men who are serious about the proposition of changing the lives of young people in this city. Because we do have problems, and we want to identify the problems, but at the same time, when we have all these men together from this group, we can work out some solutions. A lot of people have great solutions, but they're never heard.
Correct.
They're never brought to the forefront. They have ideas on how you can curb crime, but nobody has ever asked them.
Right.
So we want to have a situation, not only are we going to engage men, but we want to have a dialogue, because a lot of men have a lot of good answers and good solutions that can be used to help attack the problems that we see in the city.
Right.
The police department can't do it by itself. It just can't.
You can't. I mean, the police department is not designed to ward off crime. The police department is designed to react to crime. And we have a stake in this. But my problem with a lot of black, say prominent black people or black guys, to stand up and say that it's expressly a black problem is, in my mind, throwing gasoline on the fire. Because if I stand up and say, well, the problem in this city is a black problem, well, I'm black. So am I part of the problem or part of the solution? And you don't reel anybody in by trashing other people. You reel people in by saying, well, we're going to help work on this problem because we think we got some solutions.
Absolutely. And it's everybody's problem.
It's
if you
everybody's
live in
problem.
this city, it's everybody's problem. It's not just a black thing. You can find a lot of black men perpetrating a crime. But as you indicated to me last week, that's a result of years and years of neglect, years of poverty. These people, whoever are doing these crimes, had to grow up somewhere. So if they didn't have home training, and if they didn't have a good school, or if they came from a broken home, it didn't happen overnight.
Correct.
So when you take all the programs away, community centers away, shut down libraries, you do everything, you take all the social programs away, there's nothing to do. Churches are closing their doors and closing their gymnasiums. Kids have nowhere to go. What do you think is going to happen?
And that's right. You're exactly right. And I think part of the agenda for the 10,000 or 200 black men, so to speak, should be, we should be arming our people with the mechanism of how to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
And the mechanism of fixing this thing is political. Mm-hmm. And most of us in the black community, a lot of us, I won't say most of us, but a lot of us don't feel as if it's political. And it can be fixed politically. But that's the only way you're going to fix it, is politically.
And in addition to that, you got to have courageous people that are willing to step up.
Correct.
And provide leadership. You have a lot of people talking about they want to run for office. They want to do this and they want to do that. And you know that the Greater Memphis Democratic Club is in the business of electing Democrats to office. So if you are sitting out there and you want to get involved in politics, you want to be a part of the movement, we're going to give you an opportunity to write the Grant Brothers. You can write the Grant Brothers at P.O. Box 234, Memphis, Tennessee 38103. So you can write us, you can give us your concerns, and if you're interested in running for office, you want to be a politician and you don't know where to start, write us, send us a resume. Let us know who you are and what you're willing to do and what position it is in life you want to run for. Running for office at the time they open up the election process, if you're putting in your application at that time, you're too late. Decisions have already been made. So if you want to run for office and you feel like you want to be elected and you don't know where to start, send it to the Grant Brothers. Send us a resume. Write us a letter. Send it to P.O. Box 234, Memphis, Tennessee 38103. Go ahead.
And I think in the interim, people get ready to run and want to run, then it's going to be on us to show people how we can get traction before all of that happens. We got to arm our people with the voice of picking up the telephone and calling you an elected person now, because they want to be elected again. And if they don't do the things that we want to do, they won't be elected again.
And some of these people need to be targeted, to be quite honest.
Right, exactly.
They need to be targeted and gone after to get them replaced. And it doesn't matter what level you're operating on, whether it's a federal level, state level, or a city level. We need to go after some of these people and replace them with good people with good intentions who have our interests at heart. And that's so important.
Exactly.
Because we see it every day, and as the vote is taken, it's always something different from what the community is crying out for.
Exactly. And we have to get away from allowing our elected people to tell us things like, well, I'm on a state level, I'm on a city level, I'm on a county level, I'm on a federal level. At the end of the day, you have to come right back to Memphis, Tennessee and get elected.
That's right.
No matter what level you say you're on, you have to come right back to us and get elected.
Because all politics
Are local.
are local. And with that being said, then those local people, such as ourselves, will have a lot to say about who's going to occupy those positions. And we, as voters, need to take it serious and not sit on the sideline, but to get involved and not allow voter apathy to creep in and rock you to sleep. And you allow elections after elections to pass you by because you're not actively involved in your local politics.
Right, and session started on the state level Monday,
On the 10th?
the 10th.
Thereabout?
Today, the 9th,
Ninth.
yesterday.
Okay.
And already on the table for the state is a new gasoline tax.
Mhm.
So they have the super majority in Nashville, and the anticipation is that it's going to be a gasoline tax. But even if we can't stop it with our reps from Memphis or the people that we've elected, we need to be aware of it. Who's told us anything? Short of us talking about it right now, we don't know. All we'll know is come whenever the law goes in effect, probably next year, or they may make it retroactive. You never know how they're going to do it. All we know is we'll be paying, if gasoline is $2 now, we'll be paying 10 cents more just to the state. And all we'll know is when it hit us. And nobody would warn us or tell us or say we're going to try and block it or what do you think? They just go along to get along and tell us nothing.
Well, we've had that discussion, going along to get along. But one thing that came out, that the governor has a new homeless program. Don't know if you've heard about it. Now, we need to get into that because they're going to be providing money statewide for facilities for the homeless, job readiness programs for the homeless, housing accommodations for the homeless, educational opportunity for the homeless. So we need to look into that, see what the governor is talking about, and see how much money is going to be allocated to West Tennessee to address the homeless problem. I mean, just the other day, they found a man frozen downtown.
Frozen.
He died because he froze, I believe. Even if somebody beat him up, they left him for dead.
Correct.
And with the cold weather we were having, he just died. So we don't have people out there combing the streets looking for these vulnerable people.
Right. And even if, as you said, the governor's program is going to go down for homeless people, then the state the city has to be the apparatus to receive the funds, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to be about our business, massaging them to say, hey, get ready.
Because a city of this size should have its own homeless program. Would you agree?
We should.
As opposed to leaning on other organizations that charge people $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 a day to come in, spend the night, the next morning they just kick them out on the street. That doesn't seem like a real comprehensive program.
And if things go like they've always gone in the past statewide, then Memphis is always the last to get whatever the state's providing.
Yeah, but we always have the most.
But we got the most
liabilities,
we're
the most
the
homeless.
largest city in the state. But we always get the last, whatever they're doling out there. And we pay more taxes than anybody in the state if we're the largest in the state. Would you suggest that?
I would say that, and we are going to have to take the tiger by the tail. I ran into a lot of people over the holiday season who were feeding the homeless and feeding poor people and dropping off blankets to people that were on the streets and giving them sandwiches and canned goods. These people have the right heart and the right mindset, but it's not organized.
And even greater than that, it's 365 days in a year. So, I mean, and I'm not knocking, as you said, good heart, that's great. but we gotta do some long-term stuff.
Right.
I mean, if a person is homeless, then if they need medical care and all that, you can't get it, because where am I gonna bring it to?
Absolutely.
Okay, if you need assistance, food, well, you can't get it, because where am I gonna bring it to?
Right.
If I get a job offer, I can't get it, because where am I gonna clean up and look good and go to the interview? You can't get it. You just can't get it. So we gotta address this stuff.
Absolutely. I think that is so important to do so. We have to start somewhere. So if any of you are concerned about the homeless, if you were one of the people who got involved during the holiday season, and as my brother said, it's 365 days in a year, that's just one day or 1 week. We too would like to hear from you by writing us a quick note to say, listen, I would love to help you with the homeless program. Here's my name and here's my number. Give me a call. Put that into an envelope, put a stamp on it, and send it to the Grant Brothers at P.O. Box 234, Memphis, Tennessee 38103. One other thing we got going on the 17th of this month, just next week, the city of Memphis is going to honor my daughter downtown by way of Janice Full-of-Love is putting together a resolution on her behalf. About a year and a half ago, we did surgery. We had surgery at the Vanderbilt Hospital when my daughter was born. She was born with sickle cell anemia. And the only known cure for sickle cell is a bone marrow transplant and a stem cell transplant. Me as a father, I was the donor to provide the bone marrow and stem cells. About a year and a couple of weeks ago, we had that surgery in Nashville, and it took 2.5 hours for them to take the bone marrow from my body, and it took another 2.5 days for them to enter that bone marrow into her body intravenously. And today we'd like to report that Morgan Grant is sickle cell free. And the city of Memphis is going to recognize that accomplishment by way of Janice Full-of-Love, and we're so proud of that, downtown on the 17th at 3:30 p.m. in the City Council chamber. And I hope you'll come.
I'll be there, and I'd like to thank you for what you did for your daughter and my niece. It was a wonderful thing that you did. And a lot of people don't know you're still recovering from that.
Absolutely.
So it's a long process, and it was just a great outreach that you did.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad I was able to do it, and just to see her now progressing. You know, she had a stroke when she was 5 years old due to sickle cell anemia, and it blinded her for a little while, for maybe 2 months. She couldn't see anything. God restored her sight, and it ended up putting her in a wheelchair. Well, after the surgery went down and the therapists were coming out to the house, physical therapy and occupational therapy and all of that, working on her legs and all, Morgan stood up for the first time in 15 years. And it wasn't a dry eye in the house. So she's working on her recovery. She wants to get back to ballet. She wants to get back to playing soccer. Wants to get back to running around playing basketball. Well, in order to do all of that, you got to have the activities of your limbs, and you got to have your legs to get you moving. So her determination is this year in 2017, she will be walking by her birthday. And that's in December 23rd, 2017. So we've got a long ways to go, but I believe we can.
And you can, and you will. And I like to think using that as an example, we can kind of delve over into what's happening in the city of Memphis. There is hope. Things can change. They don't have to be the same way. And using that as a metaphor, reaching out, it can happen. It can change. Memphis will change in 2017.
Because we're going to get involved. We are already involved.
We're already involved.
We started with this television show to be involved as part of our involvement. This is not going to be the end of it. We're going to be helping socially. We're going to be helping with church activities, and we're going to be talking to various ministers, trying to bring this thing to a head. All the people that have some influence in this city come together, and we join forces and do one good thing.
That's right.
Whatever that one good thing is, we need to be trying to do it, because it takes a village. It really does.
Right. And also, don't forget about the Dr. King breakfast.
Yeah, Dr. King breakfast, that's coming up on King Day holiday.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, that's next
Monday.
Monday.
On the 16th.
On the 16th, Lemoyne Owen College has an MLK breakfast every year. I think the fee to get into it this year is only $50, but it's going toward a great cause, because all the money raised is going for scholarships and for the administration of the college and for the administration of the Alumni Association. So that date again for the breakfast?
January 16th. If you don't have anything to do, which on Dr. King's holiday, that should be the thing to do.
Absolutely.
Come by and see us.
It's going to be at the Holiday Inns University. It's going to start at 8 o'clock a.m. So that means you got to get up early. We'll have some registration and have some tickets at the door, but it would be in your best interest to give us a call. I can give them my number.
Yeah, sure.
Area code 901-406-3306 if you're interested in a ticket for the MLK breakfast.
And my number also is 901-864-0485.
You can call the Grant Brothers. We'll take your phone call, because this is the Bluff City Report. And on any given Sunday, we're going to be here bringing you the report. We're going to let you know what's going on in Memphis. We're the Grant Brothers, and we're serious about delivering the information that you so desperately need. We'll be joining you on next Sunday, same time, same place, and we'll see you then. However, don't forget to write us to the Grant Brothers, P.O. Box 234, Memphis, Tennessee 38103. Thank you for tuning in, and may God bless you.
And how about them Cowboys?
How about it?